There she is.
There she is. There's this line up here. Okay,
What, what,
there she is.
what was the line? What are you talking
It
about?
said video in progress, and it's a
Oh,
little
record.
straight line over the thing, and I
Oh,
had to hit OK, and now
okay.
it's gone.
It wanted to let you know it's recording. We're recording. Yay.
We're recording. We need
Verified.
to
Verified.
know we're recording.
And it's very possible I could forget that we are midway through and we go through that again. But
Oh,
that's what you face at this age, right?
oh, you don't have a clue?
Oh, I have a lot
You
of clues.
just won't have a clue. Well,
Yeah. Oh, and it's good to see you. I see you're all last time you were Alabama, all red, and this week you're all purple.
let's see. There we go.
LSU. Oh, there she goes. Well, you got your pillow covering it, but yeah. No, I love your dog pillow. There's the tiger. Hey, I like that little heart necklace you have. That's cute. What's on there?
Faith,
Faith.
faith.
Oh, nice. That's very nice.
Oh, it goes backwards to you,
Whoops.
doesn't it? Is
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, probably.
that
Nice.
okay?
Here we are. Yes. All right. So we have been talking about the gospel, right? For the four Sundays before Lent, and this Sunday will be the second Sunday. Um, and so last week we talked about creation, and we're going to do a little bit of review, and then we're going to run into the next lesson. So without further ado, I'm going to share screen. Oh wait, I got to get this up first. I think.
It's a beautiful day here. I'm looking out over the back of the farmette. It's beautiful.
Okay. Now I got to figure out how to get to Zoom. Hold on. I'm not sure how to do this now. I don't even remember how I did it last time, but hey, everybody hang in there. We're going to get it. We're challenged. What am I looking for? The share screen button. Okay. Share screen options. Oh, no, that's not it. Oh, here it is. It's the bright green button in case anybody's wondering. Okay. All righty. We're going to do this. Share. All right. Slideshow. There we go. Now let me see if I can get us. Um, I don't know how to get us side by side. I have them stacked on
I'm
top.
side by side on mine.
Is it mine's?
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, anyway, here we are. So we're looking at the gospel in a fresh way. I hope it's fresh for everybody. When I started studying it, it was all a fresh look for me, and I really enjoyed it. So what we've talked about so far, and can you see all those buttons down at the bottom? The black.
Not for Zoom. No.
Okay, because it's showing up on my screen, and I didn't know if it's gonna
Mm-mm.
play or not.
It's just
Just
all
a,
the stories of the Bible fit inside a larger story, and it's got puzzle pieces. That's what I see.
good. So that's what we were talking. Yeah. So, when I grew up, I heard so many Bible stories, obviously being raised in the church, there's Daniel in the lion's den, there's Joseph in the coat of many colors, and there's Samuel and all of those things, and honestly, even as a young adult, I didn't know which came first, Adam, Moses, Abraham, well, I knew
Mm,
Adam came first, but
mm.
I didn't know how they fit together.
Wow, I never thought about that. Huh.
Yeah, it's just like we're given individual pieces of the puzzle, but we really don't see the whole picture. And that's what we're trying to do in our time together here. So we're looking at all of those smaller stories or secondary stories that fit inside a primary story, right? And I've just categorized the Bible, not just me, other people have done this as well, as creation, corruption, rescue, restoration. So the larger stories has 4 categories or themes: creation, corruption, rescue, restoration. Last week we talked about creation. We'll do a little bit of review on that today. And then today we're going to be talking about corruption, and then next week rescue, and the following week restoration. So today, creation is what we did last time, and we're going to do a little bit of review right now. Okay. So here's what we talked about last week. Everything perfectly reflected or mirrored our God. We were made by a loving God. We were made for loving God and each other. We were made for pleasure and enjoyment. We were made to multiply and populate this earth. We were made for community, for union and harmony, and that's a big one, with God and with others. We were made for innocence. We were never meant to know what we know today, the knowledge of good and evil. And we were made to rule and manage all of earth and its resources. And we spent some time on the uniqueness of humanity, because of all the creation, humans were the only ones that he said were made in his image. They reflect the creator. We talked about the thumbprint, that there's no duplicate thumbprint of all the humans that have ever existed. There's no identical thumbprint, which is just mind-boggling, right? But we unique,
Even twins.
even
I
twins.
looked that up while we were talking. Even twins do not have identical fingerprints.
Right, and that's crazy.
I think that's
It just doesn't.
wow.
I don't. Yeah, that's pretty amazing. But anyway, some of the ways that we reflect the creators through our ability to reason, our intellect, our emotions, our volition, our relatability, the opportunity to choose, to create, to plan, to manage, to govern, to imagine, and I can't get this thing off of my screen. And
Communicate is what it says.
communicate. Right, right. So those are ways that we reflect the creator. There's some more ways. Our hearts were good and loving and kind and selfless and peaceful and generous and pure and patient, gentle and joyful. Where do we get all this? It's because Galatians 5 says the evidence of the Spirit are these things. The evidence of God in your life are these things. So when we were born in our perfect and our innocent condition, our hearts reflected the heart of God in these ways, which that is utopia. How amazing
Yes.
would it be
Yeah.
if that's the way everybody were operating in your situation with the jail? That would be really nice. And we wouldn't even have jails. So
Oh,
everything
would
would
that be cool? Oh, that'd be wonderful.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there's one thing that we didn't talk about last week that I want to bring in and add to this part of the humans reflecting the creator. Also, we were made male and female, and both reflect the nature of God. And that's really important. The union of a man and a woman reflect the union of the Trinity. There's only one negative statement in the creation story. It's not good for the man to be alone, and I will make a partner for him. Now, I'm not going to go into the depths of what that means. I will make a partner for him. Our Bibles have been translated helper or help me. But if you will go, anyone who's listening, go and look up what that means. You will see there are better interpretations of that. And there's not a man over the woman, woman under the man. There's no one's better than the other. They both have special roles that reflect who God is. And that to me, that's really his intention in creating the woman for the man here was for the two to be partners in the many tasks involved in stewarding God's creation. So it wasn't that the woman was created to serve the man. She was created so they would have a partnership in all the tasks involved in stewarding the creation that he gave us.
I read in a study, and I use this in my notes when I teach Eve, which I did not long ago. And I can't remember it may have been, what's that guy you like so much? The guy and his wife, right? Yeah, may have been him, but it says that Eve was the crescendo of God's creation. He was like, "Oh, right now, I'm making the best of the best here. This is something else."
Right. It's pretty amazing, and this is not what was taught in the church environments that have been in most of my life. Christy McClellan, if y'all are interested, Christy McClellan has some really good insight on this. You can look her up on YouTube, Christy with a K. And she does a whole study on this, which is amazing. And John Eldridge's book and his wife Stacy wrote the book Captivating, which that's where you got that. She's the crown of creation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously the cherry on top,
Yeah.
She it's just so much more, and women need to know this. And so I highly recommend that you go and study this. It's not going to be in this lesson.
Captivating is a great book.
It's a fantastic book. It's actually a pretty disruptive book. If you're raised like I was, the first time I read it, it disrupted my soul. I had to put it away for a year. I couldn't do it because I had, nailed down my emotions and my desires and my longings and a lot of my femininity buried down in a treasure box with nails and anchors and all that. And it was starting to disrupt that. But a year later, I was able to read it, and it was radically life-changing for me.
It seems like I remember that. I remember you going through that for some reason.
It was fantastic, and it was just the timing was right, and I just began to realize the beauty of the female, the beauty of that it's also a reflection of a part of God, and without that, you don't have a complete picture of who God is, which I think is fascinating. Because in the environments I've been in, the woman has been, pushed to the side, relegated to nursery, to kitchen, to, Sunday school and other things, and just, pushed down a little bit. But it's not God's attitude. And yeah, I can't say anymore. It stirs up a lot, but maybe we'll talk about that some point in the future. But I would seriously recommend that book, Captivating, and then look up Christy McClellan on this topic.
YouTube, you said.
Yeah. Okay, what else? So here, I already said this. Adam alone could not fully reflect God's image, nor could Eve by herself. Both are necessary. Together, they embody the relational nature of God.
Right.
Together, they would steward all of creation. And that's something I did not know until, well into my adulthood. Their unity, both physically and relationally, echoes the loving and selfless connection within the Trinity. So everything that God created, we have to keep reminding ourselves of this, was designed to reflect who he is, how he operates, his heart of love. It's a beautiful thing. And here was our picture to just show all of that in one little visual. So we have the heart representing God, man and woman are in a complete union and loving relationship with God. They are in complete union and loving relationship with each other. The animals are in complete union and harmony, loving relationships with each other. The plant kingdom is in perfect unity and harmony with all that God has designed and reflect him. And then the universe, same thing. And then the hearts of Adam and Eve reflected the heart of God, like we said, good, holy, kind, pure, innocent hearts, right? And here's another illustration. The humans reflected. I like the mirror because it's like it's a reflection. It's not, you're not actually God, but you're reflecting who he is. And you can see that like on a lake, the mountains are reflecting in the lake, and it's beautiful, the trees and all. And we are reflecting who our God is, although we don't know in fullness how he, until we see him face to face, right? But we were made to live within community. We were made to multiply and populate this earth. And then we were created to, oh, I think I have it. Yeah, I did. Reflect the Godhead, multiply and reflect God's union, manage the earth and all its resources. And there was only one restriction, one law given, and that was just don't eat of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. So we had this wonderful utopia, and that's kind of where we left it. So now today we're going to go to the second theme of the Bible in the primary story, and we're going to look at corruption. I call it the Great Rebellion. That feels like more dramatic than the fall. It's like, the Great Rebellion was that humans ate the forbidden fruit. And it's like, why? Please. And I guess we all would have done it. I don't know, but it's like, I wish we could go back and erase that. And I don't know how long.
Oh, please.
I don't know how long they were in the garden before that happened. I just don't know how long, but the Great Rebellion kind of really messed up this whole picture. So here's the picture that represents what happened after eating the fruit. So here's the little apple or whatever fruit it was. We don't know. I'm gonna say mango. Mangoes are amazing, right? And they're on trees.
Unbelievable.
A good ripe mango, man, it'll be the apple any day. So first thing, now, in the first picture, they're facing towards God, right? There's this unity, there's this love emanating from both. Now they are facing away from God to show that relationship has been severed. God's heart is broken, is got this disconnect with his creation. They are not facing each other. They're not holding hands anymore. You can see their faces. I'm like, this is like the typical marriage stance.
That's true.
And so their relationship has discord and severance. Their hearts, you can see, are corrupted. They're not reflecting and mirroring all the goodness of God's nature anymore. We have the animal kingdom at odds with each other. Here's the lion chasing that little bunny now. When they were friends, now he's going to be his dinner. Then down here, I don't know how visible it is on the slideshow. It's real small, but we have a snake, which represents the Satan, and we have a little crown over his head, which represents that the reign and the rule of this earth was attributed to the evil, to Satan. He is the prince of the power of the air. He is the ruler.
Yes, he is. Of darkness.
We
yes,
gave
he
that
is.
over to him, sadly.
Yes, we did.
And then the earth itself is under a curse as well. The other picture, the plant kingdom was beautiful and lush and provisional, and now it's thorns and thistles. The earth is cursed. And this just shows you a sharp contrast between what we had and what our sin, our great rebellion has caused to happen. So we'll go through that a little bit. I want to focus a good bit on the corrupted heart piece. So we go back, go back one. This piece right here. So we're just kind of going to zoom in on this right now. All right. So now you're going to remember this. Remember the old DVD players? Some people still have them. They haven't completely gone, but most everything is streaming now, right? And a lot of times we go down to Blockbuster, we'd get a DVD, would come home, would put it in the DVD player, and we were getting ready for movie night, right? That's so much fun. And we put it in the player and we're watching this movie and we're all having a good time, enjoying the movie. And then what happens? Remember that? That distortion, you're like, oh no, what's wrong? What's wrong? And so what do? We pull the DVD out of the player and we blow it off or we dust it off and we stick it back in to get back to where we were because it was like at a really great place and we want to know what the rest of the story is. And it's still showing this pixelated screen. So we eject it. That's what we did. We ejected them. Now we're going to take a closer look. And now we see that there's a scratch, right? Multiple scratches maybe on the DVD. And there's nothing we can do about that. It's irreparable. That is the condition that we are in at this point after the Great Rebellion. Our story is not going to play correctly. Our story, our reflection of God is going to be distorted. Everything is going to be distorted. So here's the results: a corrupted heart. These come from Galatians chapter 5. Immorality, impurity, lustful pleasure, idolatry, sorcery, hostility, quarreling, jealousy, outbursts of anger, selfish ambition, dissension, division, envy, drunkenness, and other sins like these. This is not an exhaustive list by any means. We can add addictions, right? Crimes, right? We can add so much, but this is what happened as a result of the Great Rebellion. Our hearts were corrupted. Not only that, but our ability to reason, our intellect, our emotions, our volition, our ability to relate, our reasoning has become distorted. You meet unreasonable people, our intellect has been impacted. We were just talking about that earlier. I don't know if it was before the recording or not, but yes, even the ability to forget and to not remember things, that's part of it. Our emotions are not a good reflection anymore. They're distorted. Our volition is distorted.
Define volition.
It's a choice. It's a will, right? Right.
There you go.
It's a will. Choosing our choices. We run into people who make really bad decisions, right? This is why. This is part of the Great Rebellion. Our ability to even create and plan and manage and govern and imagine and communicate has all become corrupted and distorted, right? And I will give everybody a copy of the slides when we're done. Just the slides.
Oh, well, good, because I'm trying to write all this.
Yeah, you
Is
won't
it
have to
not
write.
in this little book? I thought it would be in
This
this little
because
book.
this was part of the training. It wasn't really part of the curriculum so much. I don't know.
See,
Might be.
I need your training book.
Well, you got it right here.
Okay. All right.
So all of this wonderful stuff that we had in the beginning has just been marred and disrupted, like the DVD distortion. We're still seeing an image, but it's distorted, right? So here's the consequences of the Great Rebellion is the corruption of the animal kingdom, the plant kingdom, our work, our management of earth. He said, from the sweat of your brow, who has not experienced that? It's so hard to like in our culture. It's just to make a living, is to be able to just provide for our families and all. Our relationship with God has been distorted. Our relationship with humans and all the image-bearing features of humans has been distorted as well. So these are the consequences of the Great Rebellion. But God. So we'll pick up the next piece next week. So let's stop here. Do you want to run through any of this or just talk a little bit about it right now? Let me stop sharing. And see, I feel like I ran through that really, really fast.
Oh, it made my eyes crazy.
What's standing out to you from that?
What just scares the ever living stink out of me is when you read, and I'm sure we're going to probably, I know you'll refer to this, Genesis chapter 6, where God looks at humankind and he's grieved and he's sorry he even created them. And I feel like our world today is almost, if not there. We do have patches of believers, and God is still at work because I listen to reports from mission fields and evangelists that God is so much at work, but America just grieves me. Uh, you know, friends are separating from friends over the election. Are you kidding me? My niece's my niece's daughter-in-law will not speak to her since the election. I mean, will not speak to her. And it's my niece Heidi, and her son died. Heidi's son died, and that girl would not even contact her to say, I'm sorry. I know this is painful.
Right.
I just don't. My brain can't even go there.
I
I
know
don't understand that.
that's because what we'll talk about next, or in the last week about the restoration, God is restoring the goodness of his heart in you. And so you can,
Yes,
can see the,
he's been at work for a
right,
long
because we
time.
know what the original Boyd was.
He
Like,
had
get out of the way.
a lot of work to do, and he ain't through yet. But I have to say,
Mhm.
I'm amazed at the work that he's done. And I am talking to two of my nieces about the fact that having that boy personality is not always good. And that's hard. And they don't want to receive that. It was hard for me to receive.
It's hard for you.
Boys are tough and rugged, and I did not cry at my father's funeral and cry for, I don't even know if I cried after he died, because I wanted to make him proud that I was tough, I was a boy, and I didn't cry. That's just really sad.
It's very sad because the tears were created for a reason, you know. There was
I'm very thankful for the time when we walked through that, you and I,
mm,
one of these videos walked through that for several videos, I think, and then you sent me that song, Fathers and Daughters. Is that the
oh,
name of it? Okay, the tears I didn't cry for 2 weeks. I cried listening, and I've listened to that song over and over and over again.
yeah. It's a beautiful song. It's from that
It
movie,
is.
Fathers and Daughters. It's part of the soundtrack. But Fathers and Daughters Never Say Goodbye. It's a beautiful song. Yeah. I think that's why the book Captivating was so hard for me, because she talked about the little girl's longing for a daddy's delight and all of that. And I'm just like, well, that makes me really uncomfortable
Yeah,
because I've already shut that door.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, and that's what you're talking about. It stirred up some of that, the little girl in you that couldn't cry at the funerals, now being able to. Um, and we'll talk about the great restoration. There's a great rebellion, but there's a great restoration to come, which is amazing. But that's why we're sitting here today. But we are in the trenches, really doing cleanup from the Great Rebellion.
Oh, good way to visualize that. Yes,
Exactly what
yes,
That's what you
yes.
do when you go into the jail ministry, when you're ministering to your family and all that. But that's what I'm doing all the time in story work when I'm coaching with people and
Right.
through the places of trauma where they're stuck, where they were given these horrible messages, or are inflicted great pain. I mean, of course, there's been sexual abuse. There's literally been torture. To walk a woman through literal torture by a brother for years, ongoing. Parents knew, didn't stop. That kind of stuff. These are the consequences of the Great Rebellion. I mean, the
Right.
is
Right. Right.
horrible. It's
Right.
horrible. And we
Right.
see it all the time in the world, all this political conflict, that's part of it, the way things are, this all the things we can look around and see. This world is a mess. Yes, it is. Why? Because we rebelled against the creator. And now everything is corrupted and distorted. And the story is not playing correctly.
That's for sure.
And there's nothing we can do about it. There's nothing we can do about it. We cannot get the scratch off that DVD. We need a savior. We need a rescuer. We need to be rescued from that. Now, you and I are on the other side of rescue. So are a lot of people that are watching this. But he is our only hope. I mean, I can't sit here and we were just talking prior to recording about some of the conflict and issues that you're having with your ministry in the jail. And we were talking about the posture of humility, right? That is only possible through Jesus Christ.
Amen.
Right? I'm not naturally humble. I'm not naturally gracious. I'm not naturally kind. And I want to choke some throats. I want to straighten some people up. I want to toss some tables over and say, hey, get in line. But he has done a work in us that enables us to sometimes take abuse, sometimes to address it in a kind and loving way, stand up for it. But the only hope that we have for this desperate position is Jesus, and to be restored. And we will be talking about that restoration process, which is, it's such a great story, right? It's like, it's the only hope. It's hope. It's hope, and we need that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But like I talked about last week, Jesus doesn't come in and make everything better. Like, that's some of the gospel teach, how it was presented before. He's got a wonderful plan for your life. Get in line with him and everything's going to work out amazing and wonderful. No, it won't. Not really. Talk to those who are suffering, who've lost family members, who died, suffering greatly from all kinds of, there's no need to explain that. Everybody is witnessing some kind of suffering in their environments. Health, relationships, finances, whatever it is, there's all kinds of suffering on this world. And he says you will have suffering. We suffer even for belonging to him as well. This is just going to be a turbulent life. It's not going to be. We're all longing for Eden.
Yeah, we are. That's right. Yes, we are.
This is what we see. Even when things are going well in our life, even when the money's good, the relationships are good, we feel we have meaning and purpose, and we're doing some good things, there is still an ache in our soul because not all of it is right. We're longing for that shalom, that peace, that original design and plan that he had for us. And not only for that utopia, but also we're longing to be fully restored in our image-bearing glory and to operate.
And in that closeness with him.
Yeah, that
wow.
Union, right? The union, right. So yeah, so much of that is what's to come. That's why this story is amazing. The first part is like a bad movie. It starts out great, and then it's completely shipwrecked, and then there's this wonderful plan that happens, and this wonderful plan that is continuing to happen, and it hasn't completed yet, but it will be soon. sooner for us than it was
I,
before.
I'm one toe away, baby.
On the downhill slope, and I'm excited.
That's it.
When I turned 50, I'm like, I am halfway home. Now I'm more than halfway home. So I like that. I like knowing that because yes, I mean, sadly, there's that selfish part of me that's like, I want out. I don't want to see how this is going to continue to unfold because we have seen it continue to get worse and worse and worse. I think you're
Yes.
right. I think it is like the days of when he destroyed the earth. He said every intent of their heart is evil.
Mm,
That in Genesis chapter 6.
mm,
And that hasn't changed, but he's made a promise he won't do that again. He won't destroy humankind and the earth again like he did.
right.
And the rainbow is for him. It's to remind him.
Remind him. Yes.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that again. I promised him I won't, but I wonder he probably wants to.
Yeah.
But he chose another plan, and that's what we'll go into next week. So we'll let this be enough for today. Hang around, and I hope this is helpful. Let us hear from you. And love if you're getting anything out of this, would love to hear from you on this. Okay, so we're going to say goodbye, and we'll see y'all next week. If I can figure out how to stop recording. Now I don't even know how to stop. We got it going, and now it's like, how do you stop it? Oh, here we go.